Welcome to this News 9 special with me, Nabila. Are you feeling unusually hot this summer? Then beware. Before you step out into the sun during peak hours of the afternoon, experts suggest this summer could only get worse in the coming days, and social media is agog with a message explaining the reason for the unprecedented heat waves witnessed over the last couple of days. Listen in. The message, which has gone viral on WhatsApp, Facebook and Twitter, says that the equinox phenomenon, which occurs owing to the sun directly positioning above the equator line, is the reason for the hot spell. Messages that have gone viral on social media also warn people against stepping outdoors, especially between 12 noon and 3 p.m. The message also said that exposure to the sun during peak hours could lead to sunstrokes and severe dehydration. News 9 spoke to Bengaluru's Met Department Director, who confirmed there is nothing to worry about.
The equinox is a day when the length of the day and the length of the night are equal. So it falls on the 20th of March and 23rd of September.
Doctors say taking general precautions before stepping out into the sun could take you a long way. Carrying a bottle of water and sipping on it will keep your hydration levels in place. Eating more fruits and less meat is also a good way to deal with the troublesome heat. And if you want to keep fresh longer, then having cold showers could do wonders. Doctors also suggest keeping a regular check on blood pressure, since temperatures may go up by 3-4 degrees Celsius in the next few days. So be prepared with your gear, and the best way to escape the side effects is just to stay away from the sun during peak hours. A News 9 report. Well, you heard that, the equinox phenomenon gone viral on social media. In fact, people talking about how you are not supposed to step out between 12 and 3 in the afternoon. How true is that? If that is really the case, whether or not, we have a few experts in our panel joining us to explain to us what exactly the equinox phenomenon is, and if at all we should really worry about the problem and the entire concept of equinox phenomenon coming onto social media, getting viral. If this is really true, that 12 to 3, are we allowed to step out or not? To bust those myths or to confirm what is true, we have a panel of experts joining us. We have Aruna, our nutritionist, joining us. Aruna, to tell us more on how to keep ourselves hydrated during the summer heat. Of course, we have Mr. Jagdish, who is the climate change expert. So if you can tell us the name of your association that you belong from.
I belong to an institution called the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment, ATRE.
Right. So Mr. Jagdish will explain to us what exactly the equinox phenomenon is and why is it going so viral on social media. And to save us from the sun, save our skin, and to make sure we put our best foot forward, we have Dr. Chaitra, a dermatologist, to tell us more on how to take care of your skin. And of course, a general physician joining us, Mr. Agilan, sir. Dr. Agilan, right? Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Yes. All right, so Dr. Chaitra, there's so many people who come to you to look pretty and beautiful, so you'd possibly be the best person to tell us on how to take care of your skin. Before we come back after a short break, I'll also go to Mr. Jagdish on if at all this whole equinox phenomenon is really a myth, or is it something that we can, if you can brush up a little more on that. After a short break, stay right there. Yes, absolutely. It is quite hot. Want to learn how to beat the extreme heat this summer? Are you worried about the equinox phenomenon? True or not? We have our experts to tell us more about that. And before we come to Jagdish, please can you tell us, Ms. Chaitra, if going out in the sun in the first place is a bad choice if you want good skin?
I think the sun is our biggest enemy if you're talking about aging and good skin. Because we say that aging, 90% of it, I mean, there's a part of it that's predetermined. It's your genetic material. But 90% of the changes that you see on the skin surface is really because of the radiation. It's not as much as the sun as the radiation. And then you were talking about this 12 to 3. It's actually been very well noted that the radiation from the sun, the ultraviolet radiation is the highest between 10 and 4. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. it has the highest. So during that time, if you're exposed to sun, as opposed to let's say before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m., the chances of you getting any kind of sun damage or radiation damage is much higher. So you know, we spoke about heat exhaustion, heat strokes, that would get more exemplified or amplified during this period, just because the radiation is high, and radiation means it's about the heat waves. So that's what it really is.
Right.
And so for skin, we always advise our patients, try and get any physical activity like swimming. You know, it's hot, so what do you think? You want to swim, right?
But doesn't swimming tan you further?
So try and get it done after the sun sets, which is 6:30 onwards in the evening, or try and do it before 6 a.m. before there's actual sunrise. Because no amount of sunscreen that you use or whatever the SPF factor is, you're still going to get a tan. And any tan means your skin is damaged. There's nothing like, oh, it's just a mild tan or a major or a very bad tan. A bad
Even
tan.
a slight tan. What about that many people coming out for a tan?
Do you?
No.
I want to know which Indian person is going to say, I go out to tan myself. It's extremely rare that you'll see an Indian person say that. You'll see that more with like Caucasians who have white skin, who actually want our skin color. It's very rare that you'll see. Most people now, though, talk about getting sun exposure for vitamin D production.
Right.
But, you know, we know now that genetically we are vitamin D deficient race, and we're going to have to take vitamin D supplements. So being in that sun is not going to cause excess production of vitamin D like we need it. So typically what we say to our patients during the summer is, of course, hydrate, like you know, our nutritionist here was talking about it. But the way we do is, we don't tell them just to check their urine, but there is a measure actually. It's like for your first 10 kilos you need about 100 cc of water, and after that you need 50 cc per 10 kilos, up to 50, and every kilo after that you take 10 cc per kilo. So pretty much you can calculate like that for the water needs based on your body weight.
What do you mean by when you say cc?
Cubic centimeters, like ml, right?
Okay.
Like ml. So it's a different metric system. So that's about it. So that's what they need to take. So on an average, if you're taking a liter of water per day, then you need to increase that by at least a 30% to 40% during the summer.
Right.
Just because your body is sweating out more for its temperature control, so you're going to have to put that water back in there. Otherwise, your regular body processes will suffer. It's not just your skin. In terms of skin, when you ask me what happens, yes, everybody's complaint in the summer. The first thing is tan. How do we avoid a tan? How do we get rid of a tan, and etc. So the only way to avoid is stay out of the sun when it's shining.
Yeah, that's what I said. Might as well just stay out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you know,
if it's unavoidable.
If it's unavoidable, you do need to use sun protection. So sunscreens are the
now
commonest.
the sun protection SPF, what
Exactly.
SPF to use? The higher the SPF, better. Or that's a myth. It's about the brand.
No,
how
it
do I
really
pick?
isn't, but it is about SPF factor. It means sun protection factor. If you have a SPF of 20, let's say somebody is able to stay in the sun for 20 minutes, then if they use a SPF of 20, it'll allow them to stay 20 times longer than what they can normally stay. All right, so 20 into 20, so they can stay out for about 400 minutes as opposed to 20 minutes. But this is provided they use a 5 ml preparation per hand. So you measure sunscreen as a hand size. So if your face is equal to 1 hand, you're going to have to apply 5 ml, which is 1 teaspoon. Nobody ever does that.
Okay.
So that's the reason we say summertime use higher SPF, like a 50, because you actually end up using about 2 ml, maybe 2.5. That means you have to SPF. So if you use a 50, you're actually getting a protection of about 20 to 25 SPF.
Right.
And you've got to reapply your sunscreen every 3 hours at least. Nobody really does that. Most commonly, we can get them to apply maybe twice a day. These are people who even have pigmentation problems, not let alone detanning. So it's about using a higher SPF. More than 50, you will only use like 100 if you're a sports person, or you'll use pure zinc sticks if you're a sports person and you're out in the sun, like the cricketers. You know, they would use something like that, but you don't need to go beyond 50. 50 is great, even 30 is excellent, but anything below that is not going to be suitable during the summertime.
Right.
The other thing you need to do is use a vitamin C serum before the sunscreen, because it'll it'll enhance the efficacy of your sunscreen.
Okay.
But the vitamin C serum has to be in a form that your skin accepts it, which is called L-ascorbic acid. Right? I know it's too much data, but that's what it really is. Because you'll see 100 creams that say we have vitamin C, but vitamin C can only be as a serum for it to be active, so that you can read a label. And then you can take antioxidants to boost your immunity. If you have increased immunity, that'll also protect you. Now there's oral sunscreens on the market.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, yes.
My God, okay.
Yes, so it's actually US FDA approved. So there's a plant extract called Polypodium leucomotas. It's a plant, and the extract from that boosts your immunity to the sun. So like people who have sun rashes. So it's okay for all of us because we don't really have sensitized skin. But there are a lot of people who have sensitive skin, like photoallergic skin. They go out, they'll blister, right? It doesn't matter what sunscreen they use. So it came out about for them. So if you take those capsules, like it's typically 2 capsules a day, 500 mg dosing, and that'll protect you actually from about 90-95% tanning.
But this is for people who really go out in the sun, spend hours together under the bright sun without protection.
Even 1 hour
Even
in the
1
sun.
hour is bad.
It's even 1 hour collectively between 10 and 4 p.m. So let's say you did a burst of 10 minutes and a burst of 20 minutes and another burst of 30 minutes. So collectively, that's 1 hour. That's enough to tan you.
Oh God, I'm already worried. It's about time. Let's quickly take in a caller. We have Aisha from RT Nagar. Go on, Aisha.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, please go on.
Hello, I just wanted to know, this summer is so hot, and I just wanted to know few precautionary measures that I can take. Hello?
Right. Do you, precautionary measures to get out into the sun?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for you and for you.
Sure, like we said before, try and avoid getting out in the sun between 10 and 4, and if you do have to get out, wear sun protection, not just on your face and your neck area, but also on all exposed areas like your hands and arms and your ears, etc. Do wear darker clothing during the day. Now it sounds like, oh my God, why? Yes. The reason is when you wear darker clothing, it absorbs the radiation and it doesn't let it transfer to your clothes.
Okay.
So that's
to
the
your skin,
to your skin. So sorry, to your skin. So that's why you feel much hotter, but you've protected your skin from the radiation effects. Whereas let's say you wear cooler clothes or loose weave like linen and stuff, you feel cooler, but all the radiation is going straight through and hitting your skin. So on one hand, you're heating up your body, but you're protecting your skin. So just drink enough fluids to hydrate yourself. And like Aruna said before, I think, drinking like buttermilk and especially tender coconut water in the summer is great because it has enough electrolytes to balance you out.
Right.
And reapply the sunscreen, but remember, for every hour that you're out, you're gonna have to drink at least 100 ml of water to rehydrate yourself, just to give you a bit of a measure. If you take these measures, I think you'll be safe enough, and do try and get your work done after 4. One of the ways to measure if the radiation is really bad outside is if you're in the sun and your shadow is shorter than you. That means the radiation is at highest. So you can avoid the sun during that peak time. And if it's taller than you, it's safe enough to step out.
Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.